Hi, I'm here with Hayden Ryder, and Hayden is an actor, graduated in 2014 from Brown University with a BA in acting. And we're going to act out a script that I found in the writings of Immanuel Kant. This script appears to be very little known, and it describes or demonstrates how Kant imagined instruction might occur between what today would be a student advisor or preceptor, he calls it, the preceptor who helps students understand, his erudite and difficult metaphysics in this case, but someone who's trying to help the student. So we had this script and we gave it a first shot of trying to act it out and discovered, no shock to me, that I'm, I'm terrible at it. So we're reading it, we're going to read it word for word out of Kant's text. And we did go through it a number of times to kind of get how we might act it out, in my case, to show the interaction between the preceptor and the student. But the interesting thing is the text itself. Hayden, don't you agree? It's a kind of interesting text.
Yeah, it's a sense of heightened language. It's like reading Shakespeare.
Yeah, it is. Well, this is the 1898 translation.
Oh,
so
okay.
they translated it into the contemporary English of that time. And that's the reason part of the reason it sounds so stilted.
Gotcha.
And I couldn't find another translation. So I like it actually, because
It's very interesting.
yeah. And as a student, were you kind of like brought along? Can you felt the flow of the text and
Yeah, I think the way it's written actually is kind of the way, I guess, the perception you're trying to get out of it. At first glance, when when Kant starts verbalizing, you don't really understand what he's saying at first.
Right.
But as it goes on, it's almost as if he, through his dialogue, makes it more understandable for you.
Right.
So yeah, I guess it's kind of the whole idea of what he's trying to show how you should, approach a student with your philosophy.
Yes, he's trying to explain and demonstrate at the same time, so it's a very difficult thing he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, at the end, you get a really great speech, which actually sounds like Immanuel Kant. So I originally had this idea that Kant, is a time traveler, and he brings his mind transfer skill, because that's what it seems like. It seems like mind transfer happens throughout the script. By the end, the student is Immanuel Kant. Yeah, so it's very clever, I think. So,
Right.
And he did a great job, Hayden. So.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see if our audience enjoys this script, and comments invited. Bye. What is thy chief desire in life? That everything should succeed and prosper with thee according to thy whole heart and wish? How is such a situation called? It is called happiness, welfare, comfort, entire felicity. Now, suppose that thou hadst confided to thee all the happiness which is at all possible. Wouldst thou keep it to thyself, or wouldst thou impart some of it to others?
I would share it with my fellows that they also might be happy and contented.
Good. That says somewhat for thy heart. Let us now see how it stands with thy head. Wouldst thou give the sluggard cushions to while away his time in sloth? Wouldst thou allow the drunkard wine in the occasions of excess? Or give the deceiver captivating form and manners that he might entrap others? Wouldst thou give the robber intrepidity and strength? These are some means whereby each of the above hope to become happy after a manner.
No. Oh, no, not at all.
So that if thou hadst at thy disposal all possible happiness, and hadst likewise the completely good will to bestow it, thou wouldst not unreflectingly confer it on the first comer, but wouldst previously inquire how far he might be worthy of such happiness as he aspired after? But as for thyself, thou wouldst probably, without hesitation, provide for thee whatever would conduce to thy welfare.
Yes. Yes.
But would not then the question occur to thee to inquire if thou thyself wert altogether worthy of such happiness?
Yes, it would.
That within thee which pants for happiness is appetite. That again, which limits and restricts this appetite for happiness to the prior condition of thy being worthy of it, is reason. And that thou by force of thy reason canst contain and conquer thy appetites, that is freedom of thy will. And in order to know what is to be done to partake of happiness, and at the same time not to become unworthy of it, the rule and instruction lie all alone in thy reason. That is to say, it is not needful for thee to learn the rule of thy conduct from observation and experience, nor from others in education. Thy own reason teaches and commands thee what thou hast to do. For example, suppose the case were put that by a dexterous lie thou couldst extricate thyself or thy friend from some near embarrassment, and that without prejudice to any other. What would thy reason say to such a matter?
Reason says that I ought not to lie, be the advantages of falsehood ever so great. Lying is mean and makes man unworthy to be happy. Here is an unconditionate injunction of reason to be obeyed, in the face of which all appetite and inclination must be silent.
How dost thou call this absolute necessity of acting conformably to a law of reason?
Duty.
The observance, then, of a man's duty is the only and unchanging condition of his worthiness to be made happy, and these two are identical and the same. But, admitting thou wert conscious of such a good and effective will, whereby thou mightest deem thyself worthy, at least not unworthy, of felicity, canst thou ground upon that any certain hope of becoming one day happy?
No, not upon that alone. For it is neither in our own power to secure our welfare, nor is the course of nature so adjusted as to fall in with good desert. And the chances of life depend on events over which we have no control. Our happiness must remain a bare wish, and cannot even convert itself to hope, unless some foreign power undertake it for us.
Has reason any grounds for believing in as real any such supreme power, dealing out happiness and misery according to desert and guilt, having sway over the whole physical system, and governing the world with the extremest wisdom? That is, to hold that God is.
Yes. For we discover in those works of nature we can judge of, manifested, the traces of a wisdom so vast and profound that we can account for it only by ascribing it to the unsearchable skill of a creator, from whom we deem ourselves entitled to expect a no less admirable adjustment of the world's moral order, which latter is indeed its highest harmony. That is to say, we may one day hope to become partakers of happiness, if we do not, by our forgetfulness of duty, make ourselves unworthy of it.